What is going on, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Expected Bets 4. We'll be discussing Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals today. Before we get into that, let's bring in the rest of the crew. Betsky, you tweeted the other day that hockey weather is 19 degrees. So
And it was a shame I missed the 120. That was actually in my car though, and I
oh
think it was
my
only
God.
110 yesterday. So the car always like adds 10 degrees, but
Yeah,
it's
Jesus.
nasty. It's kind of cloudy today, so it's a little bit better.
Yeah. Franco, how we doing out there in Philly?
120 sounds terrible, so we're we're getting there, but hopefully not there, man. I'm doing great, man. Hoping we get a competitive series here. This could start turning bad quickly if depending on what happens tonight.
Yeah, it certainly does. With that being said, let's get into the first game of the night here and the only game of the night here. It's been a little rusty here. We took some time off here. Let's switch this over. All right. Mouse is giving me troubles right now. There we go. All right. Game 3 tonight between the Edmonton Oilers and Florida Panthers. Florida has a 2-0 series lead here. Franco, you mentioned it before that it seems like it's almost do or die for this Edmonton team, but good news. 11 of the last 14 teams to face a 2-0 deficit in the Stanley Cup Finals have won Game 3. So if you're looking to back Edmonton tonight, that's a positive. However, the advantage goes to Florida here as 49 of the last 54 teams to previously win the first 2 games of the series have gone on to win the Cup, and it certainly kind of feels that way. I'll start with you, Franco. What are your thoughts on Game 3 here? Does Edmonton have any chance, or kind of how are you looking to approach this matchup?
Man, I hate the price. If I want to back
too.
Edmonton, it's like DraftKings just moved it to 142 as well. I didn't even realize that. So I mean, this is, if Barkov was out, then we'd be talking with that price. But it's hard, man. It's hard to want to back Edmonton. I want to back Edmonton. I feel like this is an Edmonton spot. They're returning home. They should be rested. Everybody should have their legs under them. You got an extra day off. With the long travel and all that fun stuff, but minus 142.
Yeah,
for a team
it almost leans the other day.
Games,
Gosh, I know.
It's like you would never pay this price in like a normal scenario ever.
No,
obviously, there's reason to back them, but yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, it's rough. I feel like we could probably get an overtime game here, so maybe
that's what I had circled too. I knew you're going to bring it up here. I was like, I'm writing down draw right now already, 3-1. So that is going to be on the card tonight for sure. But
yeah, I mean, there's no value on. I mean, you either take Edmonton and reg or like -1, like, or you just take the draw or try grab them live or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you do them first period puck line or something, or try to grab their team total in the first period. I want Edmonton. I'm just still like struggling to find the right value on it. That's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah, you're almost trying to find alternate ways to approach that money line. And you look at their team total that you brought that up, over 2.5, -156 on FanDuel. They have been much better at home. They've hit 9 of their last 10 home games, and comparatively, they've averaged 4.0 goals for at home and just 2.55 on the road. So that's going to be the angle there. But again, they've only scored 1 goal through the first 2 games. And at -156, I'm not willing to lay that price given how well Bobrovsky's played these first 2 games. Betsky, how are you looking to approach this Game 3 matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It sucks that the 2.5 isn't a bettable price. I don't know if I would trust the under or the over here. Everything. It's really hard to have any confidence now in this series, and it feels damn similar to the Vegas series last year, huh?
Yep. Well, that's one way. If you think Edmonton does take Game 3 tonight and Florida wins the next 2, plus 265 for 5-game series total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're just trying to get creative at this point of avoiding that minus 135 money line. It feels like do you just kind of look at the player prop angle and go,
What about Reg? The
That's
Reg win.
true. Yeah, Reg is
I
not
mean,
bad.
We haven't seen many overtime games across all the playoffs.
Yeah, Edmonton and Regs plus 115. I don't hate that kind of mindset. And you probably could even sprinkle on draw too. Still get some value there. But
yeah,
I would probably, if I'm gonna do that, I would probably split a unit between the Reg and the -1. Not every book has the -1, but that way, if you get an overtime win, you get a push there, so you only lose half a unit. That would be the way I play it. Just
yeah,
should be the same value.
Yeah. So are you guys? I know we just kind of talked about this, but are you looking at backing either any kind of puck line, total, or money line in this game?
I don't know if I'm going to put my money on any sides.
Yeah.
I like I like the first period angle. I think is probably the best way. You just hope that they can hold the lead in the first. I think that's probably like your best value. You don't have to worry if they blow it late and they do go down 3-0. They have to come out hot, like Adam said.
Yeah.
I like. How do you not come out absolutely firing in the first period?
Yeah, so you could look at that minus half a goal puck line in the first period is plus 180 for the Oilers, which I don't hate at all. You can also go the safer route. Minus 130 is tie no bet for the first period for the Oilers. So if it is 1-1 or 0-0, you're going to get your money back on that.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like that price, minus 130.
Yeah. So at least you kind of have two outs there instead of just one with the puck line. Are you guys looking to back any player props tonight? I have a feeling the majority of people are looking at two guys, expecting a big push from Edmonton here, but I want to hear your thoughts. I'll start with you here, Franco.
Yeah, so for sure McDavid shots. That's probably my favorite play of the entire game, I would say. He's still plus money on Bet365, minus 110 elsewhere, which still isn't bad. I can't see a game where he doesn't have 4 shots, regardless of what the situation is. He's going to be playing a ton of minutes. I feel like even like you have to think about it this way, right? Like they've been winning games a lot in these first or the first 3 rounds, I guess, at this point, with not like the typical Edmonton style where they win 6-3, 6-4 types of games. They've been winning like a lot of low scoring games where they get a lead early, they get like 1 or 2 goals, and they kind of like stop pushing. I think they learned the last game after scoring first that that's not the way to play this team, and that game just felt like such a low event, weird game 2. So I can't see.
Started off nice.
Yeah, it did. It started out looking good, and then it just kind of like died. So it was weird. So with that being said, I don't see, regardless of how this game comes out. So like even if Edmonton goes up 2-0 earlier, 3-0 or something like that, where they just come out firing, they beat Bob, and they just look incredible. I don't see McDavid stopping, even if he's at 2 after the first period or something like that, and you're worrying. Like I think he'd still get to that 4 regardless. So I love that play at plus money.
It dropped, by the way. It's minus 120 on DK now. So
all right, I got posted
for the first period. Tie no bet.
No, for
McDavid shots.
Oh yeah.
So.
It was at minus 115 on DraftKings for a little bit ago, but let me see what it is now. Yeah, it's minus 120. Adam made a good point there of Florida did have a delay getting into Edmonton. They less than 24 hours ago, and they did only have that 1 hour of practice, as he mentioned. So leading more towards that first period angle, that tie no bet minus 130 makes a lot of sense, especially given this do or die scenario for Edmonton.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
The other player prop I'm looking at is Bennett. I mean, again, this is just almost like rinse and repeat, right? There you go. Adam's got it right there in the chat. So, I mean, you're getting a plus money. I think they moved Verhaeghe to that line too as well. I believe. I thought I saw this morning. That's what I saw this morning.
Pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up. But if that's the case, I mean, come on, man, that line is with Kachuk, Verhage, and Bennett is just awesome. So
Rodriguez is on the top line now.
Yeah, Rodriguez, but yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So I mean, you're still getting plus money there. That's just pretty ridiculous. So definitely backing that. I think you can keep it simple. The only other angle I would try to consider maybe for Edmonton is some power play point props. If you're feeling like, they're due, they have to score.
Yeah,
right on the power play would be, you'd expect them to be getting more opportunities. I like Bouchard, potentially Draisaitl, depending on the price there. So that would be the other kind of angle I would look. Again, I kind of want to get away from the Edmonton money line because I just feel like there's no value there. So I think those are the ways to kind of get the value and get some plus money instead of minus 135, minus 140.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the bets I had written down, actually, was Leon Draisaitl over a half a power play point tonight, plus 124. I had his goal circled at that plus 135 range, but I just kind of figured there's almost more value of him just getting a touch on the puck or him sitting along that slot along the boards of scoring. So there's more chances, and I feel like Edmonton's due for a power play goal or some more chances tonight. They had, in game 2, they had 4, and then they had 3 in the first game. So they've had 7 chances through the first 2 games, haven't capitalized. It feels like it's inevitable. Their power play has been better at home along with their overall play. So if you're looking at that, I don't mind Draisaitl at plus 124. McDavid for a point on the power plays minus 120, which again is not a bad look either if you're kind of opting away from that over 1.5 line, which he hasn't hit this series.
I mean, and Draisaitl goal feels so due. Like you said it, but he was such a machine in the last few series. How has he not had one yet? And he had that snipe from like the goal line on the power play at one point in the last game. So I feel like he's going to be another guy that's should be active, and you would think should be able to get one.
Yeah. So speaking of Draisaitl, we mentioned McDavid shots on goal at 3.5, Draisaitl at over 2.5, minus 130. It seems like that's another angle of just kind of riding those top 2 guys for Edmonton and backing them in any way possible that you really can tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It feels similar to the Mavericks last night in NBA. I know we're not big NBA guys here, but just backing Luka and Kyrie to just go off even though they lose. So it feels like the same thing here with Draisaitl and McDavid.
Yeah. Betsky, did you have any other props or kind of what were you looking at in this game?
Yeah, I'm on McDavid shots too. I really like Bouchard assists quite a bit, minus 130. I don't mind that power play spot as well, but then you're protecting yourself as a bettable number. He has 14 assists in 9 playoff home games. I mean, if you want to kind of lean into the narrative that this may be going over, his 2 assists could be kind of a spicy play too. If you want to just do something a little bit more risky that has really nice odds, I would almost prefer to kind of take something like that than a McDavid 2 points, because if it's low scoring, why not get a good return on a play like that? So Bouchard 2 points or 2 assists could be something kind of spicy right there.
Instead of 2 assists, would you almost look at the 2-point angle in case he does score?
Yeah. I mean, he's been shooting a ton.
Yeah,
so.
I like that.
Yeah,
because he can score too.
He can score easily. Yeah.
Yes. So his 2 points, which you can now same game on FanDuel, is plus 300.
I think that's almost worth a sprinkle given his shot rate.
I kind of do too. And then as far as how many times has he done that in the playoffs, he has hit in 8 of 20 games. And then if you slice that up by home games, 6 out of his 9 home games, he has multi-point games.
Yeah, Adam brought up a good point here. I know we're on McDavid shots on goal for the game, but backing McDavid in that first period and the Oilers to come out hot, 2+ shots on goal in the first period is plus 186 on FanDuel. I think that's a great look as well. Just kind of adding to the McDavid card that we have. Instead of any money lines, totals, or sides, it's just going to be McDavid 3 ways, Draisaitl 3 ways, maybe Bouchard as well, and that's going to be the card. They're in Bennett there, but
well,
in terms, Yeah, go ahead.
One other Panther prop that looks good, and Adam was kind of beating his drum before the series started, is Forsling. His point is plus 160 tonight, depending on the book. He is now pointless in 3 games, which he hasn't done all playoffs long. So if he has another pointless night, it'll be 4 straight games. He's probably been Florida's best defenseman. He's definitely been their most productive. So if you think, again, leaning more into that, this could, maybe we finally see some goals. It's kind of the midpoint of the series, and a lot of the series we've seen in the playoffs, things open up a little bit in these like game 3s to 5s area. So I think you're getting a lot of good value at almost double your money with just a Forsling point.
Yeah, Adam had mentioned Forsling and saying ladder him up in terms of the shots on goal. He's been a wagon. I know we touched on Erod earlier, and our narrative this whole season has been back mid revenge spots. That might have to change going forward. He has 3 goals this series. He's currently plus 168 to lead the series in goals. He has 3. I think the next closest person has 1 for Hagee and a few others. If you had to kind of make a bet on that, are you sticking with Erod to have the most goals in the series at that plus 165 range, or are you looking at Verhaeghe, who has 1 at around 12-1 right now?
That's crazy. Just like we drew it up, right? Erod.
Yeah.
The series.
Yeah. In terms of our goal score, I think Verhaeghe was mentioned. Erod, I don't believe was mentioned. So
no,
I'm
I don't
sure
think so.
Pre-series odds, he probably had to be around 50 and above to 1
it's probably
to lead
crazy.
this series. Yeah.
I would think, like you kind of said, it feels like these games should open up now that we're in Edmonton. I feel like they'll be able to dictate the pace a little bit better with the last change. So that could quickly shift. I mean, 3 goals, it's not like he has like 5 or something like that. So, I mean, you get 2-goal night from Draisaitl or something like that, and now we're back in business with some of the studs being in there, or 2 from Hyman. I mean, Hyman has felt absolutely snake bitten these first 2 games. That I've seen him miss like at least 3 or 4 tap-ins. It's felt like they've just like bounced off his stick in a bad way or went wide or whatever. So he's another guy that feels really, really freaking due. McDavid has been serving it up on a platter. He's just not been finishing. So
yeah. There's a decent line out right now. McDavid to record 3+ shots on goal in every game for the rest of the series. The Oilers are down 2-0. Desperation mode here. If there's one guy you're going to expect to shoot the puck for the next 2 to 3 games, however long this series lasts, and he's just got to get 3. It's not even his 3.5 line. At plus 300, that doesn't feel like a bad bet.
What was the line on that? What was the number?
McDavid to record 3+ shots on goal in every game, plus 300.
I like that. That feels pretty good.
Yeah, because you're getting a better line than his traditional game line. If you're looking to kind of play a little future here, I don't mind that at all.
And you may only have 2 more games to do it.
And they're both going to be at home, which his numbers are better at.
Yeah. Yep.
But even if you look at it this
Adam
way,
mentioned Desharnais in the chat too, and like I don't know why they don't have his line for blocks. I bet it last game, and he's been awesome.
Yeah,
he's just a force in front of the net.
Another bet I like is 2+ goals for both McDavid and Draisaitl, minus 120. They each get 1 either tonight or Saturday. Yeah, I don't hate that look either. Any goalie props? It's kind of been a weird series in terms of that, with Edmonton dominating the shots in game 1 and then it kind of reversing in game 2. So are you looking at any saves, goals against tonight, or just completely staying off goalie props this series?
I'm not touching goalie props for the rest of the series. I'm done.
No,
I'm like Bouchard. I'm tapping out of that one. Jeez.
Yeah. When that last game, it felt like Skinner was an absolute lock to go over, and Florida just stopped shooting in the third. That was frustrating. Yeah. I think he needed like 5 to get over going into the third and didn't get there.
It's funny how it works too. It's always that case. If you're like, all right, 5 more shots, there's 10 minutes left, like has to hit.
It's plenty of time. Plenty of time.
And then time slowly starts ticking away. 6 minutes. Oh, we just need 3 now. Okay, 3. And it's a dangerous game to play with those saves.
I just completely stopped tracking that prop because I thought it was totally fine going into the third.
Yeah. Well, they'll put the
Yeah,
shots up on
I
the
was like,
screen
we're
too,
good.
and
Yeah.
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 And they scored that goal, and then Florida was like, nah, we're done shooting now. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And I still think that, I mean, both of these goalies can pull a stinker too. I mean, Bobrovsky's been fantastic pretty much all playoffs long, but he is known to just kind of drop it one game and then just pick it right back up the next. So, I mean, maybe with this long flight, not getting much practice in, maybe he's going to be a little bit stiffer. So it makes me just not want to trust him. We've seen how Edmonton, if they do take the lead, they have become a team that is comfortable holding it, like we saw in the Dallas series. When you look at Skinner saves, it's insane how few times he's even gotten into the 20s throughout the playoffs. I mean, granted, the Vancouver series is skewing that, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, everything lines up for Edmonton tonight, which is scary. We've seen it before of Florida's late flight in, like Edmonton's back on home ice where they've dominated. It feels like the writing's on the wall, but as we've seen this postseason, it hasn't really been that crystal clear, especially after the first round of how these games play out. So just to wrap up here, Betsky, you're on McDavid shots on goal, Bouchard assist.
Yeah.
And then any other bets?
I'm taking Forsling point.
Forsling point. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Franco.
And I may sprinkle that Bouchard 2 points now that we see it at plus 300.
Yeah. I think that's not a bad play. Franco, what is your card for tonight?
I'm going to be McDavid's going to be my heaviest play for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still plus 100 on Bet365. So I actually just bet it while you guys were talking a minute ago. So that's definitely going to be my biggest play. I like Bennett point, and then I'll probably go with that Edmonton first period money line. I like that a lot. If they do release the Desharnais blocks, I like that as well. If we think Edmonton's going to be leading, I feel like Florida should be firing late so he could get in there, block some shots. See if they give us the line, though.
Yeah, I am going to join you on that Edmonton first period line. Tie no bet minus 130 on DK. McDavid shots on goal as well. I don't have bet 365, so I'm going to take that at minus 120 on DraftKings. And then I am going to take that Draisaitl power play point at plus 124. I think if there's a chance Edmonton's power play turns around, it's tonight, and he's definitely going to be involved in that. So that's kind of where I'm looking. Are we decided on the draw, Franco? I know you'd brought that up before, plus 300. Is that going to find its way onto the card maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes before puck drop tonight?
Probably. I'll probably sprinkle it. It just feels like inevitable, right?
It does.
It's funny because you made the reference to this being similar to the Vegas series last year, where Game 3, Florida won. Well, I look back because I was like, what was how that game go again? I watched the video, quick recap or whatever, and it was Florida scored first. Vegas tied it, took a 2-1 lead. Florida scored with like 2 minutes left to tie it, go to overtime, and Verhaeghe scored an OT. So that seems like a good recipe for tonight. Let's do that. Let's get an Edmonton first period win.
Yeah.
Florida takes the lead. Edmonton makes some late game heroics, and then we get a goal in overtime.
Draisaitl OT goal.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet from Bouchard.
On a power play.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, for Bouchard's second assist.
Yes.
That'd be a hell of a clip if it hits. So let's hope it goes that way. All right, before we wrap up here, you guys want to shout out your socials one last time?
Sure, I'm Gretzky Betsky at Gretzky Betskys on the X and the Parlay Science Discord.
And I'm Franco the Banker on X Twitter.
Awesome. And as always, you can find me on Twitter at Gator Betting and our podcast at Expected Bets 4. We appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight, and best of luck in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals.